For 3 years, from 2007 to 2010, Google Street View collected so-called payload data, emails, text messages, passwords, and other sensitive data, as it mapped U.S. and global Wi-Fi networks, ostensibly to provide better services. It initially denied it deliberately collected this data, but as the story developed, Google soon fessed up that the code was in fact a deliberate software design introduced by a lone engineer, and that knowledge of it, as well as alarm bells about its potential privacy implications, was shared by that engineer with others at Google. The FTC looked into the matter but did not fine or punish the company. The FCC too investigated and ended up fining the company just $25,000, not for any apparent violation of our privacy laws, but because Google impeded the agency's investigation for many months. The FCC stopped going further to see if our wiretap laws were in fact broken because the engineer who designed the Y-Spy code invoked his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination and declined to testify.
It's very frustrating when you see agencies like the FCC do nothing. Virtually, they've done nothing. This isn't the first time that Google has gotten into trouble. This won't be the last time that Google has gotten into trouble. We recognize that the mindset behind these technology companies is to continually innovate. They want to try new products. They want to throw things out and see what sticks with the public. We get that. We appreciate that. We understand that. But when you've crossed the line, and in this case, Google has crossed the line for safety and for privacy concerns, we want our government to do something about it.
In the FCC's case, they redacted the report in a way that looks like they were covering up for Google's reputation. So I think that, it's one thing to think that you don't have the statutory authority to take action, but it's another thing to kind of cover it up and not tell anybody, which is unfortunately what it seems like a lot of these agencies have done.
What this is potentially the largest unauthorized wiretapping to ever occur in world history. We're talking about tens of millions of homes around the world, which Google went and collected. And in some places they caught passwords and emails, and in one instance an email where they could have determined that somebody was having an extramarital affair. So it isn't trifling information that they found.
We have a real problem when someone's coming in to our own home. We are not using Gmail. We're not on a social networking site posting what we ate for dinner or where we're vacationing. We are talking about a technology company that has come through our neighborhood and collected this type of information about us without our knowledge.
We know that it's very hard for information to sort of stay contained, especially when you have government agencies, the NSA, law enforcement agencies, knocking on the door of private companies and seeking the information that the private companies have. So, if someone, I think it's perfectly reasonable for someone to say that, yes, the email is with Google now, but there's no guarantee that it's going to stay there.
Google is by far the most invasive, privacy invasive company or entity we've ever encountered. They're Big Brother, Inc. And that's a problem when they collect all this information because it can be outsourced basically to Big Brother. That is a problem for property rights and for privacy because they basically don't believe they need anybody's permission to invade your privacy or to take your property. And once you don't believe you have to take permission, then the world, anything you want to do, you can do. And Google does it. So the reason why they have the longest privacy rap sheet in the world, and I've put one together, it's like 45 examples of it, and when you read it, you realize over a 10-year period, they have been pushing the envelope on privacy in every direction imaginable. And you realize what it comes down to is they do not respect others. They don't respect others' privacy, others' property, or others' freedoms. Their freedom trumps your freedom always.
This cannot be good for any company that needs sort of a reservoir of trust to try and innovate and try new things in the future and to try and explain to consumers why these new things are in their interests. If you have a history of violations, people just aren't going to believe you.
We don't think that Google is purposely trying to collect this information, but we don't know. And when we see time after time after time them getting into trouble, it does make us start to question, well, maybe they are doing it purposely. What are they taking this information for? What are they using it for? And we want answers. Families want answers.